If you are angry and angry about being angry, you need to hear this.
What can I do about my anger? Sanhia on why you can't fix your anger and don't need to.
Good now. If you find yourself living in the present moment without a story, just with life as it is now, which is how it's always been, except that you're looking at your story. If you let go of the story and you're just with now, there couldn't possibly be a thought of, why did I wait so long? There is no time, there is just now. Why is it like this? Because it's how it is. There is no why about it. Why didn't I wake up to this sooner? You simply didn't. That's how it was. It is as it is. You would never step back and say, oh, give me that old life. Once that opening happens, there is no turning back. There's just more opening and more opening. What could give more excitement to life than knowing there's always going to be more opening? 5 years ago, I could not have visualized how I feel now. And you cannot visualize how you will feel 5 years from now. But perhaps that's okay. And you realize, of course you can't know, because there's just now. And there isn't anything particular to do because life is doing the doing. You're just along for the ride. But part of the mind that thinks it's in control and has to do things is absolutely crazy. It has no control. And that's probably a good idea, because if it did have control, it would have no idea what to do with it. If you had known what you know now 20 years ago, then obviously life would have been different over those 20 years. But 20 years ago, you didn't know what was possible, so you couldn't even choose it. And that's where all of you are right now. No idea of what's possible. So instead of letting life, this enormous organic whole, do what it's going to do no matter what you do, you go into your story and let it guide you and direct you, creating an enormous job figuring out what to do that not only is absolutely unnecessary and unneeded, but is also doomed to fail. And so then you end up exhausted and hopeless and helpless. And meanwhile, all around you is heaven.
Yeah, but it seems, when it's good, it's good. But when you have those experiences which you don't like and you don't prefer, it makes her get angry, frustrated. It's so difficult in those moments to say, oh, yeah, thank you, life. Everything's perfect. I love it.
The mind has an idea of what perfection should look like. And if it doesn't look like that, resistance and judgment and saying, this is not right, this is not how it should be. But it is how it is. And there's nothing you can do to change that. So you're fighting a fight that you can't win because it already is what it is. Your non-acceptance and your fighting of it, then you separate from God. You separate from the oneness, from the wholeness. Take a deep breath and say, but what is it? If it's not what you think it should be, what is it? What is here now? One of the benefits of getting older is you have had more and more experiences of how your resistance and you're trying to choose and set goals has not worked for you. When you're younger, you may be more likely to be optimistic and say, oh, I can do anything.
So I guess the answer is there is a situation that I don't like. I see it. I notice that there's something that my mind says should be different. I should act different. So what I do, I breathe in, I breathe out. Okay, what I see here. And then it might take me to that, oh, I see the situation and then I feel angry or hopeless.
First of all, the situation you're resisting is no longer happening now. It's happened. And so what's going on is that you're in a story, but you're acting with all the programming through your life to this kind of story. But it no longer has anything to do with what is here right now. So maybe it's a beautiful sunny day, but all you see are clouds. You're not present, even if it's a recent story. So what's here right now? If someone seems to be upsetting you, are they in the room right now? What is there now? Is there a person there or people? Why is your attention not with what's here now, with the people who are present, instead of in your mind with the story, with people who aren't even existing in your now? Notice what's here. React to it.
If we talk about the repeating situation, not like a once in a lifetime situation, what if the situation is not here, but I have the feeling about the situation? So I have to bring myself back.
Then you have a feeling, and that's here. But your mind wants to say, I'm having this feeling because of this, this, and this. Not true. You're just having a feeling. And the mind is saying, I don't want to have this feeling. It's not comfortable. I want to get rid of it. How could I change this so I feel better? This is not accepting the no. This is wanting to change and resist it. Let that feeling be there. Nothing to heal there. If it's raining outside, you need to heal the rain, but the sun will be back sooner or later. But not because you feel the rain. There's nothing to heal here. There's a feeling. Let's be there. Feel it. Let go of control. Don't try to heal it. Try to justify it or find the cause.
Then it means that when the feeling changes, another feeling rises up and another story in my mind, and then another feeling. So it's like perpetuum mobile. But what is here and now then?
Let the feelings be there and try not to pay much attention to the stories.
How come they're never true?
Because the mind is a politician. It is, by definition, incapable of telling the truth. It always has an ulterior motive. And basically, what the mind's motive is, I want to do this to feel safe, to be loved, to release my guilt. But it tries to find other reasons because the mind doesn't want you to look at those questions. And so it tends to project. I have this problem because, well, men, you know how they are. And I have this problem because of my boss, you know how they are. I have this problem because of my parents. Well, you've all had parents. But the mind never really wants to look at what's there. If it was willing to look at, this is all about me feeling unloved, then it could look at what is the truth about that.
About emotions. Where do they belong? Is that part of ego mind going crazy? How could we find out what's what here?
I don't want you to take this as a literal truth, but the emotions are primarily a natural healing, balancing energy. The mind makes insane choices, self-destructive choices. There's emotional reaction to that. It's a balancing energy. Like a storm balances the energy in the air and the earth. Likely, as the mind becomes less active, there will be less emotional reaction also. But while it's there, let it rip. It's not to understand, it's just to be. One of the things that you express concern about is that if there aren't goals and things, then there's all this excitement that comes about reaching the goal that would be missing. That kind of high is a bipolar energy. Everybody is bipolar. When there's a high up, then there's a high down or a low down. Stop trying to be somewhere else. Stop having goals.
And it's also stop trying to be different than you are.
Who am I?
That's again one of the ego games, one of the lies. I'm trying to decide who I am, and then you choose someone who you think is more developed or advanced than you are. That has nothing to do with being yourself, because there is no other you.
But are you saying that the way to come to that point is to see the recordings we have and let go of them?
Let me give you an example. How many of you have a thought that if you were a really, really developed, spiritual, good, loving person, you would never get angry? Anger is wrong.
Okay, maybe not never, but not that harsh. A little bit more balanced.
Not how I am, but how my mind is telling me through whatever programming it's had, how I should be. I should never be worried. I should never be depressed. How many shoulds or shouldn'ts are in there in this picture of the evolved, advanced you would be? So then you try to train yourself out of these traits.
Yes, I feel exactly this way, what you say.
There was an American man who was become a spiritual teacher, and he had a teacher in India, and he said to his teacher, One thing I admire about you is that you are so patient, so calm. Nothing seems to upset you. And his teacher said, yes, but I was that way long before. That's just my nature. My teacher would express enormous anger. And he said, I am not angry. Sometimes anger is present. So it's present, there's an expression, it's gone. That's it. If you have the thought of, I don't want to be an angry person, then there's a story and you remember that and you're guilty and you're judging.
I'm that kind of person who gets angry a lot, and I don't like it. I really don't. It seems that till my last breath, I'm gonna try to change myself here. I cannot accept that it's normal, that it's okay to be this way. I don't think I can just say, yeah, I am how I am.
Relax with it. Give up the ownership of it. I am an angry person. Give up the definition of yourself as an angry person. Sometimes anger is present. Is it always present?
It's not always present, but it is sometimes, quite often. And it's not just anger, it's fucking anger.
Simply notice, oh, anger is present. You don't notice it till after the anger is no longer present, in which case you say anger was present. Did you choose it? Say, no, I have no control over it whatsoever. That makes me so angry.
Yes, that's right. I would like to choose.
Obviously, it's not your fault, because if it was, you wouldn't choose it. So what you're doing is rubbing your own face in it. Instead of just expressing the anger whenever it is there, you're judging yourself for being a horrible person for having it. So you have two things going on, the anger and then the judgment about the anger. So see what happens when you notice the judgment going on and say, no, I don't want to do that. And maybe for a while, not only anger is present, but also judgment is present.
Yeah, that those two come together.
Oh, and guilt is present too. Simply noticing that is. I didn't choose it. So what's here now? Since it's not here now, let me look at what's here now.
That judgment, then okay, guilt, and then probably we can see something nice.
When you are not judging yourself and you're not guilty, then you can see what's nice. The story, whether it's I'm angry, I'm judging, I'm guilty, dig deep in there, and what's underneath it probably is the same old thing. I'm not lovable and I'm not safe. When you know you're loved and you're safe, what is there to be judging about? You have a unique personality which will not change as you let go of your story and your meanness. You still will have your you. Maybe someone is taking an action in the world that is hurtful to someone else. Maybe the anger just expresses to that. Maybe that person needed to hear that anger, to notice what they were choosing, how they were acting. But the anger just expresses. You don't have to know why. You don't have to have a justification. For some people, they would respond by walking over and hugging, and someone else would respond by yelling. There's no rightness or wrongness about either action. But when you think you should or shouldn't be in a certain way, that's when you're not you. You're a picture of whom you think you should be. And you will never be that person. You'll always feel to be someone else. But you can absolutely succeed at being you.
So what's oneness?
Oneness is everyone being their unique self together. It all fits perfectly.
But then I have this mind, but why did I have to be the angry person in the room? That's not fair.
Because you have the judgment about anger.
Okay, that's a good one.
And probably as you're observing anger in others, if they're expressing anger in a way that you judge as inappropriate, maybe undeserved, maybe bullying, feel anger about their anger. But if you see someone expressing anger and you say, yeah, that person deserved it, then you're like this about the anger. Is that true?
I guess so. It's not that I'm against anger, period.
Unless I'm yours.
Yes. I don't like anger myself.
It pisses you off.
Oh, yes. I cannot choose either. Sometimes I feel hopeless and sometimes I feel furious even more. I would like to go deeper into that question about finding ourselves. When I'm in a deep meditation, I see visualizations. So I would like to ask, are those visualizations from ego mind or do they come from our true self? What is it?
Notice how it feels to you. Does it stir you up or does it calm you down? This thing of learning to hear your inner guidance, my best advice to you is follow what comes. Instead of trying to judge or analyze, let go of thoughts of this is the truth for now and forever. It's my guidance in this moment. So I act on it and then I let it go and see what is now.
So what do you mean by letting go?
Letting go of the belief that this is just the truth. Because looking for the truth is like looking for meaning. You'll never know if you have it or not. But if you ever have it, you'd never be able to explain it. So you can say, this is an approximation that's my guidance for right now. Now, a week later, is it still the guidance? Let me listen. Let me feel it out. You acted on that guidance and you experience what's in the world as you acted in that way. Your mind thinks that there's a story going on here and you're progressing, you're growing. But what's really happening simply is you're being reprogrammed. Every day, by everything that happens, you get reprogrammed. And so in some ways, you hardly recognize yourself from the self you felt 10 years ago. Maybe some of the root parts of your story aren't just as much there as they've always been. So you get guidance in the now to do something, you do it, and then you let that story go and be in your present and see what's there now. If you hold that guidance as this is the way I should always be from now on, it's no different than defining yourself as a free person.
So do you say that there isn't the truth to look for? Most we are on a spiritual path, we are looking for the truth. So you say there is no truth?
There's a corollary feeling with this guidance. If you feel a passion to follow it, trust that passion.
Yes, I feel the passion.
Ultimately, it might be said that being awakened might be about living in passion in every moment and not forcing yourself to do something because you think you should.
I just feel it, that action comes with feeling.
And then it's not about result, it's about the doing. If it's about result, then there will always be some selling out of the truth of you to get to the result, because the results do not matter. 100 years from now, you'll be dead, and nobody will remember you were around, and nothing you did will make any difference to anyone. The only thing that really makes a difference to anyone is this moment for you. And this moment has nothing to do with where it's going to lead to. It has to do with this moment. That is all that this channeling amounts to. There's no place to get to. There is just the expression of what wants to be expressed in this moment, and no idea what will come next, and no concern about how it's received, whether it's accepted, rejected, judged, kicked around the room. That's none of our business. And you're free to do whatever you want with everything that comes into this moment. And that means you never have to respond in any given certain way. Never. Good no.
If this touched your heart, subscribe and receive more light. This content is the creative work of Channels Without Borders, all rights reserved, 2026. Visit channelswithoutborders.com.